They gave him 72 hours. He gave them silence. And what happened when the clock hit zero changed everything, not just for Israel, but for the entire world. It started on a humid Monday morning in Jerusalem, the air thick with tension, and the scent of jasmine from the nearby gardens of Gethsemane. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was reviewing reports in his secure compound when his aide, Eli Gavron, burst through the door, eyes wide, hands trembling. "Sir, you need to see this." Now, Eli placed a tablet on the table. A pre-recorded message played. On screen was Ibrahim Traoré, the young and charismatic leader of a West African coalition that had, until recently, remained in the shadows of global politics. With a deep, steady voice and fire in his eyes, Traoré issued a stark ultimatum. "You have 72 hours to address our demands, recognize our sovereignty, release the seized humanitarian shipments, and open negotiations on the mineral trade routes. If you refuse, we will act, and the world will witness what we're capable of." Netanyahu listened silently, his fingers tented under his chin. Behind closed doors, his cabinet urged caution, diplomacy. The UN called for immediate talks. But Netanyahu had weathered countless threats before. To him, this was just another bluff. He didn't respond. Hour 73. The first signs came quietly, flickering lights in key regions of Tel Aviv, erratic signals in Iron Dome communications, strange cyber readings out of demand. Then came the global press conference. Traoré stood flanked by leaders from 5 African nations and several unexpected allies from Southeast Asia and South America. They announced Operation Dawn Horizon, a sweeping economic and cyber retaliation already in motion. It wasn't missiles or bombs. It was smarter, more devastating. Through months of quiet build-up, Traoré's coalition had secured control of 43% of Israel's imported rare earth minerals, essential for weapons systems and energy infrastructure. Overnight, supply chains collapsed. Military systems stalled. Medical devices slowed. Drones fell from skies mid-flight. Worse yet, a cyber offensive rippled through banking systems, satellite networks, even hospital databases. It was the most coordinated, non-violent takedown of a modern nation since the dawn of the internet. Israel's people panicked. Pharmacies closed, markets spiraled, young families fled city centers, and amidst it all, one question dominated headlines. Why didn't Netanyahu respond? Inside the chaos, stories of resilience began to emerge. In Haifa, a single mother named Leora Cohen, whose son relied on a rare mineral-based neurostimulator, began hand-delivering medication across the city when drone deliveries stopped. In Beersheba, an Eritrean immigrant named Femi, who had fled war only to rebuild his life as a systems engineer, helped keep the local grid online by rerouting power through abandoned solar farms. And in Tel Aviv, Eli Gavron, the same aide who had delivered Traoré's message, defied orders to go dark. Instead, he contacted an old friend, Fatou Bamba, a journalist working with Traoré's coalition. Through encrypted messages and a trust forged long before politics, Eli begged for a Backchannel to open talks. Meanwhile, Traoré did something no one expected. He paused. He gave 48 more hours. On the 119th hour, Netanyahu appeared before the world. Grey-faced, voice hoarse, he admitted what few world leaders ever have, that he had underestimated a movement, and in doing so, had risked his country's stability. "This is not surrender," he said. "It's survival. It's humility." Traoré responded, not with more threats, but with a video address filled with both stern resolve and unexpected compassion. "We did not seek war, we sought respect, and we still do." The coalition agreed to lift restrictions in exchange for a formal summit held not in New York or Geneva, but in Accra, Ghana. For the first time in modern diplomacy, the Global South dictated the terms, and the world listened. The summit was broadcast live. There were no suits and ties, no red carpets. Leaders sat in a circular forum under open sky, surrounded by artists, students, farmers, and scientists. They talked not of dominance, but of dignity. Trade routes were restructured. Medical tech was shared. Cybersecurity protocols were made open source. Israel signed a rare mineral cooperation agreement that empowered both regions. But perhaps the most powerful moment came when a young Israeli boy, who had survived the blackout thanks to a West African manufactured battery pack, walked on stage, holding the hand of a girl from Burkina Faso whose school now used Israeli water technology. They didn't speak the same language, but they smiled the same way. The world watched, and something shifted. For the first time in decades, geopolitics wasn't driven by who had the most weapons, but who had the most wisdom. Netanyahu's silence had nearly cost him everything, but his eventual reckoning sparked a revolution in global diplomacy and Traoré. He didn't claim victory, he simply said, "Now we begin again." In the end, the story wasn't about power. It was about the choice to listen, and what happens, what can happen when you finally do.